Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Fit and Fierce. I'm your host, Beverly Johnson, owner of Genesis Fitness, located here in Huntsville, Alabama. And I am so happy that you've taken a few moments to spend some time with me on your Sunday afternoon. I know the first thing that you notice is that I am not in my normal location. Well, I had to do some work and I have all my stuff sprawled out in here in the kitchen. And I decided, hey, why not? Let's just hang out in the kitchen. But you also think back in the day when our elders used to sit in the kitchen, your aunties and your uncles used to hang around in the kitchen and they have the grown folks conversation. Happy Sunday, Peter. They have the grown folks conversation that we weren't really privy to, and they would always run us out. So today, let's just say we're going to have a grown folks conversation. And this week we're going to talk about emotions. And I know that's not always a topic that we're always ready to lean into because a lot of times we don't know how to. Let me take a step back. In our current climate right now, to be able to articulate your feelings, to be able to articulate what you're going through has been perceived as soft. But I'm here to tell you and to change the narrative that it takes so much courage to lean into your fears, to lean into your feelings, to tap into truly what's bothering you, because that's when your healing begins. So many times when we have people, hey mama, so many times we have people, well, happy Sunday. I hope I say it right, Okole. Where we have people that there are things bothering you. And we see it on your face. We see it in your emotions. We see it in your body language. But we've been taught, don't show emotions. Don't show fear. Don't show this. Don't show this. And so then when you get into a relational space, you don't know how to articulate what's going on inside of you. So today we're going to talk about your emotions. Not just your emotions, but how can exercise, having a healthy outlet, help you navigate your day. Now, one of the things that I always believe in that when we talk about our fitness, a lot of times we put fitness and wellness in the same category. But I'm here to tell you that they're two different things. So today we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about the wellness component. And what your wellness is who you are as a person. My favorite analogy to talk about wellness is your wellness pie. I know we're talking about fitness and I'm going into a pie. And what your wellness pie is, all the things that make up who you are. That's your environment, your emotions, your intellect, your physical, your social, and your spiritual. And all those different slices of your pie make up who you are. And when one slice of your pie is thrown off, it's easy. Hey, Donna. Hey, girl. Hey. When one slice of your pie is thrown off, it's very easy for everything else on your pie to be thrown off. So many times we're talking about our wellness pie. We'll have the fitness pie slice like that, and we'll have everybody else like this because we place so much emphasis on our physical self that we forget to take care of our mental self and our emotional self because the physical is impacted by the mental and emotional. For example, if you had a bad day at work or you get to work and they tell you there's a deadline and that deadline bumps against you having to be someplace for your children. And they tell you that you have to have this done by 2:00 today. Well, you had planned to leave at 1 because it's your daughter's or your child's soccer game. And you had made plans and promises to be there to see your child's first soccer game. But you're not being told there's a work deadline. So from the time you walk through that door, you've been given this deadline, and all day you're thinking about what happens if I miss my child, I break my child promise to my child. Then I have this work deadline. So all day you have these emotions churning in your spirit, churning all day. So a lot of times when you're stressed, what's the first thing that you do? You go get something to eat. And not only do you get something to eat, you start stress eating. Your emotions are running hot. You're in a space where you're not properly focused on your task at hand. And all these things are going on because you're hoping to still be there for your family. So in that one analogy, you had your emotional slice cut, your social slice impacted, and your physical slice impacted, because now all those things are impacting your day. Now, if you've had all that going on, what's the last thing that you want to do at the end of the day? Go to the gym. So when we're looking at our wellness pie, when we're looking at our life, it is so easy to try to compartmentalize everything that we're doing, because a lot of times we learn to do that out of survival mode, where we've learned to just keep our heads down and color and focus on this one thing. And when you are in survival mode, nothing else matters but getting through that day, getting through that season. When you are in survival mode, you can't see anything else happening because you have blinders on. And so many times when you are in survival mode, you don't see the impact that stress is doing on your body, that stress is doing on your emotions, that stress is taking toll. Because again, when you're in survival mode, your focus is just to get from A to B. However that has to happen, that's what it's going to be. Because in survival mode, it's just about meeting whatever need is at that day. Now, I know you're wondering, well, how can exercise help that? Exercise has been shown to improve if you're struggling with depression or anxiety. Exercise has been shown to help offset some of those feelings. And I wanted this to be a timely topic for this weekend because this past Friday, September 10th, was National Suicide Awareness Day. And on that day, it recognizes the importance of breaking the stigma of asking for help. It breaks the stigma of you not realizing that you don't have to fight these battles alone, that everyone has down days, everyone has off days, everyone has a space in their lives where they have felt so overwhelmed with what's going on, they don't know what to do. And so on Friday, it was to highlight that you have the option, the desire to stay in the fight. That no matter what has happened in the past, there's greater ahead of you. And just that you fall down 7, but you're going to get back up on the 8. And that's why on this Sunday, I really want to highlight this topic, that when you're in a space where you have all these emotions churning and you don't know what to do, take a step back and lean into that ugly feeling and let's figure out how to process it. And one of the things that help offset a lot of unease is exercise, because it has been shown that depression and anxiety symptoms can often improve with exercise, because what it is, it gives you that outlet that you need. It does 2 things in your mind. It releases the feel-good endorphins. If you've ever been outside running a race, you ever heard of the phrase runner's high? I have had it, and it is the best feeling in the world, because somewhere in the run, when I'm out there feeling ugly and I sweated my eyebrows off, this release happens. It's like poof. And in that moment, nothing else matters. In that moment, a sense of well-being falls over me. And so when you're in a space where you're exercising, what it does, it takes your mind off of whatever's going on for a few minutes. You remember when we were little, and depending on where you were, because I grew up in the country, shout out to Pritchard, Alabama, where if we had sat in the house for so long, we were told to go outside and play, to go outside, get some fresh air, run around for a few minutes, let whatever we were doing fall off, and then come back in. Or if you've been at work and you felt yourself being so stressed The moment you get up and walk away, the answer comes to you. When you're in a space where you're feeling just suffocated and consumed with something, walk away from the situation for a few minutes. Go for a walk, go on YouTube, find an exercise video. There are tons out there, and clear your head for a moment. Because a lot of times you will put a narrative in your head that's not even true about what's going on. I remember one time there was someone I was supposed to have been in contact with and they never called me. I went into this whole narrative that they didn't want to be bothered with me, that they didn't like me, they heard awful rumors about me, and they just didn't want to do business with me. Come to find out, she went on hiking and she lost her phone on the trail, and that's why she didn't call me. So when I got to the meeting, she was communicating through her iPad. So that whole day, while I was worried about not confirming a meeting, she lost her phone. And that's the byproduct of when you sit and let your mind get the best of you. So when you let your mind get the best of you, you'll tell yourself a whole narrative that wasn't even true. So the first thing that exercise can do with your depression or anxiety, keep in mind, this is not a clinical diagnosis. This is not a clinical diagnosis. For that, we need Veronica back, which we're going to work to get her back. So the first thing it does is that it releases feel-good endorphins. It gives you that sense of, it clears your mind. It lets you think through some things. The second thing it does is that it takes your mind off the worries for a little while. The same premise, get out the house. When I say for me, oh, thank you. When I say get out the house, get out of your head. Get out of your head, because sometimes this can be a dangerous place. You can sit there and create a problem that don't even exist. And if you are like me, now you don't put it in the chat. Do not put your comment. Do not put me in the chats. But how many people have made problems to problems that don't exist? How many times have you sat and created a problem and created a solution to the problem that does not exist? Because for me, I like to be prepared. So let's just say some clowns do pop out my closet. I need to be prepared just in case a clown jump out of my closet. Do I have something to repel the killer clown that's in my closet? Yes. Okay. So do you have killer clown materials just in case a killer clown jumps out your house? What you gonna do? I got my killer clown stuff. Created a whole narrative that ain't even true. So sometimes when you're dealing with different things, your mind will create problems. You will solve a problem that will never happen. And so when you have exercise, you have a free option to clear your head. Now, one thing about it is that when you're talking about exercise, what are the benefits of it? And one thing it will do, it will help you cope in a healthy way. If we learn nothing from last year, we had to learn during the pandemic how important it was to cope with our anxieties. Last year, and still in a little bit for me into this year, is that feeling of uncertainty. It's that feeling of what will the end of next year look like? What will end of this year look like? What will next year look like? And truthfully, none of us know. I just know going into the pandemic last year, my top concern was, because I'm not located near my family, was will I be able to see my family again? How would that work? Will I ever be able to go see my mom? Will I go see my dad? Will I be able to travel again, because we're all across the country now? How will that look? And so when I had that type of uncertainty on me, and then we're quarantined, then we're doing all this other stuff, what we all experienced last year was real. And we all cope with it in different ways, the best we could. And the lesson learned for me from last year was take a step back. And if I had feelings of anxiety, if I had feelings of uncertainty, don't run from it. Quite the opposite. I learned to sit in it and figure out what was wrong. And most of that time when I had feelings of the ugly and the uncertainty, I would go take a walk. I walk to the point now where everybody in this neighborhood knows who me and my dog is. And that's not just because we like to walk, it's because I had to get out the house. And that's one thing you have to learn how to do when you're having moments of uncertainty, having moments of feeling overwhelmed. Get to the core of it and figure out what exactly is bothering you. It doesn't always feel good. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be a one and done. To understand your emotions, to understand the anxiety and depression of it all, because when I'm speaking in the terms of anxiety, is that everybody has lows. Everybody has good days. Everybody has bad days. Now, if you are in a space where you don't feel like you cannot shake off that blues, if you cannot shake off the bad day, I strongly encourage you to connect with the proper resources, not just they have in person as well as online services. So if you are in a space where you cannot shake off the ugly, please, and you have the resources, please tap into your network and get the support that you need, because again, we're breaking the stigma of mental health in the Black community. We have had too many people that have become ancestors since this pandemic because they cannot handle, or they felt that they couldn't handle what was around them. So today's topic was to give you just one outlet to understand that, again, I'm not a clinical doctor, so I'm not making any diagnosis about what you can take medically, what you should do physically. In my little span of control, one aspect that I'm encouraging you to pursue is exercise. Go walking. This year I discovered hiking, found out that I absolutely love hiking because it gets me out of my routine. If I can't do activities that are inside, I decided to find activities that are outside. Come to find out that I found a group of amazing people around the city that love hiking too. Now, one thing we were not prepared for was what with the looks we get when we go hiking, because we'll go on the trail and you'll see people from other communities and they go, "Whoa, there's a lot of y'all, ain't it?" But that's okay though, because we're breaking trends. So if you're in a space and you've been inside all day and you have been in your head all day thinking about how you're going to pay that $200 bill with $37 in your account, you ain't got it. Instead of fixating on it, go get some air. Pray about it, clear your head, and let your mind rest. You have been worried all day about trying to put 3 and 3 together to come up with $257. It still ain't $257. So in this midst of what you have going on, one resource that you can take into consideration to help you get through it is taking some time out and go exercise. Go for a walk. It doesn't have to be something expensive. It doesn't have to be something complicated. Set reasonable goals. Every day, you're going to walk 2 miles a day. My dad is, Mama, how old is Daddy? He is 72. And he is a motorcycle riding, 2 mile a day walking 72-year-old, because he decided to take control of his health. When I say my parents are goals because they are both running the race in a spectacular way, because they both learned early on how to manage stress. They learned early on how to take a step back from what was going on and take care of themselves. So my parents for me are goals. Will I get a motorcycle at 72? Probably not. I just want to get a bicycle. So if somebody can help me get a bicycle, that's fast enough for me. But they learned early on what their limitations were. They learned what to stress about and what not to stress about. And you have to pick your battles. So one tool in your arsenal in helping you navigate through the stresses of the day are exercising. It's exercising. Find the activity that you enjoy. That may be swimming, that may be walking, that may be boxing. My favorite stress reliever of them all is kickboxing. I don't know. It's something about uppercutting to the jaw that makes me happy. Don't judge me. But just kickboxing makes me happy. Something about that elbow to the face that just does it for me. This makes me feel all gushy inside. I like to box. I also like to walk. I also like to trot. I don't run, I trot. But those are my stress relievers. If you're still in a space where you don't feel that funky feeling shaking off of you, seek a professional. And between those two resources, you should be able to help navigate your emotional battlefield. Because again, we don't need you to become an ancestor just yet. It's not your time to go. Not your time. Because heaven forbid you leave too soon. And when they're checking off the list, they're looking at you like, hi, you weren't supposed to be here. You are 32 years too early. And you sitting there like, oh, I didn't know. Because it's not your time. Lean into the battle. You have the victory. That's all I have for today. So key takeaways. Exercise is a viable resource for dealing with stress, for dealing with anxiety, for managing anxiety and depression. Because two things that it does. It helps release that endorphin, the feel-good endorphins. You ever been eating something so good and it goes, or you run and you exercise, you get that poof, that runner's high. It helps give you that exercise high. It helps break whatever sad feelings that you have. And two, you get fine in the process. You get to clear your head. You get to step away from the situation like we were little, get some fresh air, and enjoy yourself. That's all I have for today. Thanks for hanging with me in my kitchen. It is now time for me to cook dinner. So have a great week, and I will see y'all next Sunday. Bye, y'all.